Hi, I'm Aaliyah Woods, co-founder of CommonWealth Urban Farms. This is our Beginning Gardener video series designed to help you have a successful garden even if you've never planted a seed in your life. So today we're doing our whole video just on cover crops. I am a true believer in the value of cover crops. What are cover crops? Cover crops are plants that we plant solely for the purpose of improving the soil. They're not crops that we're going to harvest to eat ourselves. It's just to feed the soil. Cover crops will help improve your soil fertility and tilth. They'll help suppress weeds, prevent soil erosion, and attract pollinating insects. It's a win-win all the way around. Now let's look at some of the cover crops specifically. These are some of my favorite cover crop seeds. These are all cover crops for the winter, for fall and winter. You can also get other cover crops that are great for the summer. Austrian winter peas here, crimson clover. These are both legumes. Legumes are unique in the plant world. Most plants can only draw nitrogen from the soil. Legumes, however, draw nitrogen from the air. We call it free nitrogen because you don't have to go to the store and buy it as a fertilizer. It's free for the taking in the air if you're a legume. After the legume plants die and decompose, that nitrogen is then left in the soil in a form that's available for other plants to draw from. Here we have Daikon Radishes, which are great because they have that long taproot, which goes into the soil after the after the plant dies and the taproot decomposes. It leaves air holes in the soil, helps break up and aerate heavy clay soil like we have. Here's winter rye, very winter hardy plant, extensive root structure that helps break up clay soil as well. This is mustard greens, which are fast growing. They help suppress weeds and soil-borne fungi and nematodes. And lastly, we have hairy vetch, another legume that has beautiful pink-purple flowers in the springtime. Now let's talk about preparing the soil. If you have a garden bed where you've pulled out the summer crops that you were growing, ready to plant something else, then you can just pop in the cover crop seed and you're good to go. But if you're starting a new patch like me right now, this is what you have to do. Especially if you're dealing with Bermuda, you really have to remove the roots. So this is a patch of median between the sidewalk and the street. We've already done one little patch here of cover crop seed, and you can see this was about 10 days ago that we planted it, and it's already has germinated and started growing very nicely. This is the winter rye. Looks like a grass. It is a grass. These are the Austrian winter peas right there. We've got a few little radish seeds coming up. I spotted one a minute ago. There we go, right there. You can see it. And crimson. Oh, that's crimson clover actually, and there's some radish seeds in there as well. This is another strip right next to it that I just finished preparing. And here's what I'm going to be doing next. So back in July, we covered this section, solid Bermuda, heavy red clay. We covered this patch with a sheet of plastic, left it on all of July and August to solarize the Bermuda. First thing you do is water it in well, because it's actually the heat and steam together are what are going to help kill the Bermuda roots. Cover it with water it in, cover it with plastic, secure all the edges. You can use these earth staples, use some T-posts to lay along the sides, bricks, whatever you need. Just make sure that the edges are as close to sealed as you can get. Leave it on during the hottest part of the summer for a good 6 to 8 weeks. Then you can remove the plastic. So you can see this Bermuda grass has been killed back. I doubt that all of the roots are completely dead, so we still need to get out as much root as we can, but it's a lot easier than if we were just starting from scratch. Here you can see some Bermuda at the very edge that did not get killed, so big difference between there and here. I still want to dig out the roots as much as possible because there are going to be some roots that will make it through that process. If it's really dry, like it's been for us lately, you'll want to water it in a day or so ahead of time. Having the soil moist makes it a lot easier to dig. Get those roots out. I like to pop it over and then just chop it a bit. I really just want to pull out the roots and not all of the soil that's clinging to them. Take it off, toss the roots aside, they'll go in the compost pile. So this strip I've already prepared, and we're going to plant it with cover crop seed right now. This cover crop seed mixture is about 5 or 6 ounces. That's enough to plant 100 square feet. This little patch here is only about 20 square feet or a bit less, so we only need to use maybe a fifth of this amount of seed. I'm just going to take it and scatter it, broadcast the seed, just like that. I'm mixing the seed up a little bit so that little seeds that fall to the bottom still get included. So you can see we don't need to use a whole lot of seed. You'll notice the big seeds, but there's little seeds in there too. By the way, these seeds that look kind of bluish gray, the legumes, have been inoculated with a naturally occurring bacteria that will help increase its ability to fix nitrogen. Now I want to cover this seed up a little bit, so I'm just gonna kind of rub my hand over the soil and the seed will sink down a little bit. I don't want to bury it very deep, but just give it a little bit of cover, like that. Now I'm going to add a light layer of straw on top. This will help hold in the moisture and help it germinate more evenly. Well, on years when we have a really dry fall, like we're having now, you might have to water every day until it germinates. That's what we did here, and we got great germination. Once you get a nice stand going, you don't need to be watering every day after that. You can water quite infrequently. The cover crop seeds are usually pretty drought tolerant once they're established. They'll continue to grow all through the fall and winter. Gradually, in the winter, get a little taller, and then in the spring they really take off. Here's a clip we took last spring of what this will look like this spring. These are the cover crops that we planted last fall. Now here we are mid-April, and this is what they look like. We've got winter rye, Austrian winter peas, which at this stage, the tips of them are delicious to eat. And we've got crimson clover, just starting to bloom right here. Cover crops are the least expensive and most effective way I know to improve your soil. Give back to your soil, and your soil will give back to you. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.